Hello and welcome to Paris Crochet Flow. My name is Paris and I am back here with somewhat of an afterthought, or rather something I talked about in my previous video about wanting to do short, really concise videos on basic crochet stitches, and on thinking about that, I figured we could do one small, very small project that you could make into anything. You could make it as big as you want or as small as you want, but I would say this is geared to complete beginners who probably have never crocheted or who are just learning how to crochet, because we are going to be learning how to make a magic ring, how to start with single crochets, how to do increases, and to do some color changes. And to get those skills, I found an easy way of my way of thinking is that if we do an evil eye, that's going to have those skills inbuilt in this, in a very small concise tutorial, if I can do it as fast as I'm thinking I should. So for this you will need 3 different colors of yarn, and I'm using just scrap yarn that I have in my stash. So I have black for the middle of the eye, which is the pupil or whatever. I have light blue, and I have blue for the outer eye, I mean the outer part of the eye, I believe. And I did draw sort of a diagram here to tell me what I'm gonna be doing. So black in the inside, light blue, then white, and then dark blue in the outer layer. So I do have white or off-white here. So anyways, I'm gonna set this aside. You're also gonna need a crochet hook. I'm using my crochet hook size 4 millimeters because I'm using yarn for yarn number 4 worsted weight. I could use a smaller hook because the evil eye is sort of an amigurumi, because it works in the round in single crochets. You could do in double crochets or in whatever. So I have my crochet size 4 millimeters. I have my darning needle, which I'm gonna probably use to weave in the edges. I have my contrasting color of yarn here, which I'm going to use as a stitch marker, just to because I don't like the pins, you have to kind of fidget with them. And also I'm gonna use my fancy scissors here. I do have bigger ones, but I kind of like these ones. So anyways, let's get into the short tutorial, or whatever this is gonna be. This is very impromptu, and I hope I get it as concise as I can. So we are going to start with the black yarn. I'm gonna remove these ones because it's a bit cluttered here. So we're gonna start with the black yarn, and we are going to start with the magic ring. So the way I do my magic ring is I hold the end of the yarn on my palm like that. Then I hold it on 2 fingers. So I'm holding it with my thumb on my ring finger, and then I cross over the yarn and go behind like that. So in front I'm holding it, I'm crossing over and going behind my 2 fingers and holding it like that. Then I'm going to put my crochet hook right through the first loop of yarn, or whatever this is. Then I'm gonna go through and pick up the second one like that. Now I'm gonna hold it in both my hands. Okay, I'm gonna do that again slowly so you can see. So I hold my yarn, I cross it like a cross like that, and then hold it like that. At the back, I'm going to, with my hook down, I'm gonna pick up the second one and pull it through, making a loop. Now I'm gonna hold this, making sure I keep the circle. Okay, and this yarn is what we are gonna pull through. So tension your yarn as you would. I do tension it like that, or sometimes I do with my pinky, or either way, as whichever way you tension your yarn, just make sure you're holding on to the magic ring. So now I'm gonna make one that one doesn't count as a stitch, but I'm going to make 6 single crochets in the magic ring. You can see I'm holding it open, so I'm going to make 1 single crochet. So a single crochet is the hook through the ring, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So those are 2 single crochets. So crochet through the magic loop, pick up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So those are 3. It might be difficult to see because it's black yarn. If you want me to do in another color of yarn, just comment down below. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm doing them so slow so you can see. So those are 6 single crochets, and now I'm going to pull through, and I've closed my magic loop completely. Keep tightening because this is a small project. Now we are going to change immediately into color light blue. So I'm going to pick up a loop, okay, as if doing a single crochet, and then immediately change into color, into the light blue. Sorry, my yarn here is a bit mess. So to change into light blue again, I'll start that. So I put my crochet through the first single crochet. In fact, let's just close it completely by doing a slip stitch. That's another lesson. So hook through the first loop, the first stitch, the first single crochet, and we are gonna slip right through with both so we can close the magic ring completely. Now we are going to be doing an increase row. So to change the yarn into a different color, I put the crochet through 1 stitch like that, pick up a loop. Now I have 2, and to change into my light blue color, I'm going to pick up my yarn, and I'm going to use it to pull through. That way the next stitch I'm gonna make is gonna be in light blue. Okay, now I'm gonna make another one there. So we are going to end up with 12 double crochets because we are going to do an increase. So 1, I believe those are, no, 2, I'm doing it slowly so you can see all the single crochets. So hook through the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over, you have 2 loops, pull through the 2 of them, another one, so that's a 4th one, so that's 4. 5th single crochet, hook through the stitch, pull up a loop, you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and you keep repeating until you go around the circle of black single crochets. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna try to zoom. So for a single crochet, you go through the stitch, pick up a loop, you have 2 now, pick another loop and pull through 2. So crochet through the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We should have a total of 12 because they are increases. And if you have more, don't worry, I might actually be having more. So now, once I would think you have 11 single crochets, and it's time to close 12, and it's time to close here. We are going to put the hook through, pick up a loop, and now we are going to be changing the color into white. So 2 loops in blue, and I'm gonna be picking up my white yarn, or off-white in this case, and now we are changing the color again. So I'm pulling through the 2 loops using a different color of yarn. Tighten that as much as you can, and we are going to continue from here by making 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and we are going to repeat this all around. So single crochet again is hook through the stitch. So I believe I did 1 increase there. So hook through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. The next one is going to be an increase, and an increase is 2 single crochets or 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So an increase here is 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. That's an increase. So you make 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So that's an increase. So we are going to make 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and this is how we are going to do to work around. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet and 1 increase. An increase again is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Okay, so another single crochet, hook through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now we are going to do an increase, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So 1, hook through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Another one, yeah, take a loop, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's an increase. Another single crochet and an increase, another single crochet and an increase to end. You would have 18 single crochets by the end of this row. So now, before you yarn, you pull through 2 in the last stitch, we are going to change it into dark blue, and our evil eye is coming along, so we are going to change it into dark blue. So we have 2 loops, and we are going to pull through 2 using the blue yarn. Tighten it as much as you can. That sort of creates a seamless yarn, color change. You could choose to work over this yarn, but it might be visible, so I will just leave them hanging in the back, and we can weave them at the end or just cut them if it's not a very durable piece. The best case scenario is for you to weave them through. So for this one, for the last row, which is dark blue, we are going to be doing 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2 and an increase. An increase, remember, is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So that's an increase there. So 1 single crochet. If you hold your hook like this, it's hook through the stitch, pick up a loop, you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Another single crochet, hook through the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Those are 2 stitches. Now an increase is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Okay, we repeat this throughout the round, and we are going to have our blue stripe for the eye. So I'm just working the single crochets. I hope by now you've mastered your single crochet. It's the beginning of amigurumi. So if you master magic ring, single crochets, increases and decreases, you are on your way to making your own amigurumis. And there is a lot of free patterns on Ribra as well to follow along. So 2 single crochets, remember your single crochets, and an increase. An increase is just the same single crochet but in 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Okay, so again we repeat 1, sorry, my yarn is splitting here. So 1, 2, and an increase. 1, 2, and an increase. And this is our last stitch. You're likely gonna have 24 stitches by the end of this. And now, because we have the 3 colors, it looks somewhat like an evil eye. You could do all things. You could play around with it and make like pointy like that, just so it looks more like an eye, and those would be increases on both ends. So for now we're not gonna go that far. We're just gonna call it a day, and we are going to fasten off here. So fastening off is a slip stitch. So you hook through a stitch, pull a loop, and pull through. Okay, and then I'm going to pull through completely, and I would be cutting this yarn. I'm gonna use just my big scissors here anyways. So as you can see, when you have so many color changes, you will end up with a lot of hanging ends. And here is our evil eye, and we learned how to do a magic circle. We learned how to do single crochets and increases. We did the first row 6, then 12, then 18, then 24, and that's how you keep it flat. Now if you were to make something that is curving up, you would just have to stop doing the increases and let it create sort of a bowl. I'll get into that maybe in a different tutorial where we can work on a small jewelry holder, and that way we can learn how to do increases and also kind of let it stop in doing increases and let it carve up into a ball, and that will be the lesson of another day. But for now we have our evil eye here, and I'm just going to weave them in, and you can make this, you can make 2 of them, join them and put a keychain, and that's a sort of a beautiful thing. And you could make many of this and make them into blankets or whatever. You can play around with an evil eye and make even a full wearable top from making evil eyes, or a big evil eye using double crochets. But for now, I hope you learned. I didn't even end up using my stitch marker. Maybe I should do another tutorial and show you how to use a stitch marker when you're using a different color of yarn. I will follow up this one, but I hope you did get 2 skills, I mean 3, which is magic ring, in single crochets, increases, and the slip stitch that you need to do to finish up. Now this part I'm not gonna do on here, but to weave in the ends, you would just have to use a darning needle and just sort of weave in the edges into the same color of yarn. It's kind of very splitty. So basically weaving in the ends is to prevent having knots and to make sure that your work is not going to unravel. So I just usually sort of put them through a few stitches one way, and then I return the other way. So basically that's it. You weave in your stitches one way and return the other way, and then we are just gonna cut all the pieces, or you could even choose to use them as in this case you can choose to use them as what is it called, a tassel. Just tie them around like that. That way you don't need to even weave them in. Then once you tie them all, you could make them into a nice little tassel there, and you could use this as a keychain. If I added a keychain, I might take some time to look for a keychain, but I hope you can see the imagery I'm talking about, and you can just hang it on your, and if you made two, you can join them to kind of give them weight, and you could even stuff them to give them weight, and you could just hang it on your backpack, in your car, and it's just a beautiful decoration. So I hope you learned those 3 skills: magic ring, single crochet, and increases. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. I know this is a lot of talking. I will try and do a really concise one. I keep saying that, but I'll get to that. But if you have any question, and if you would like me to go through this again, just make a comment down below and I'll be glad to do that. But there you are, there's your evil eye. And like I said, you can make many small items using just basic crochet, and you don't have to start big. Remember, start small, start flat, and that's how you're gonna build your confidence, by making small things and growing into making even bigger things. So there you are, there is our evil eye made with only 4 rows of single crochets, which had increases as well. Okay, thank you, and happy crocheting, happy making, and just go with the flow. Bye.